on weekend school, I say, SubhanAllah, you're here. Thank you so much for coming. And then let's get started with teaching. We're the educators. We have some responsibilities even before teaching begins. And that is attitude. Okay? Respect begets respect. You know, my generation, when I was in Sunday school, it was, you respect the teacher and then the teacher respects you. No. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work in American schools. It doesn't work with American children. And how many of you are teaching American children? I'm sorry, all of you are teaching American children. American children with beautiful cultural heritages. American children with Islamic identity. But you are teaching American children. And in America, we give children respect, and then we model it, and they give it back to us, if we model it well. So respect begets respect. Not teacher first gets respect and student gets it. Student and teacher at the same time. First day of school, that's what I tell my students. The one thing you will have from me is respect. Your job is to keep it, but I will give it to you the first day that you come into the classroom. Be punctual, be prepared. I can't tell you how many times we complain that my kids don't come and the parents don't take it seriously, but it's the weekends that I'm not there at the Sunday school that I'm complaining about it. So if we're not there, every single week, even if one child comes, 10 children come, or 20 children come into my classroom, if we're not there, then we can't expect them to be there. So if you can't make the 25 weeks or 30 weeks that you have of Sunday school, then you have to have a good reason, just like you would expect it of your students, and you have to have plans for getting the work across to the students, just like you would expect of the students. Turn it in whether you're there or not. And so, respect, be punctual, be prepared, praise, praise, praise. We're also living in a culture, and you don't have to like it, I'm just telling you it's the reality, where we give positive reinforcement. You give reinforcement, the child turns off, and then you have lost him if you weren't going to lose him already. Positive reinforcement is when you say, okay, I'm really glad you showed up for class today, because alhamdulillah, you know, you came on time. But I need you now to listen to me. Okay? And so you're saying something positive, and then you're saying what you need from them. Okay? There are times I've heard a teacher say to a student, I don't even know why you came today. You don't listen. Oh, you've just made coming not worth coming. So please be careful. How we speak. They say that in the next 100 years, it won't be the country with might that becomes powerful. It will be the country with intelligence and the power of language. Because it is the power of language that raises us, or is the power of language that puts us down and makes us feel like nothing. And teachers have that power. They just do. You can make a child feel like nothing after he leaves your classroom, or you can make a child feel like a good person. I hope our goal together is to make children feel like they are good, worthy people. And that inshallah, hidayat comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'll do what I can to help you be worthy of Allah's hidayat. Teaching begins before the classroom. I know we'll talk a little bit later about that in terms of, how do we prepare for our classroom. That's attitude. The second part of teaching is craft, recognizing learning styles, including individual learning and cooperative learning. So you've got, sometimes they're working on their own, sometimes they're working in groups. They learn from groups. A child who may not get something will learn from someone else telling them or discussing it with them. Maybe making always connections to our world. I mean, if you're really learning about the seerah of the Prophet and you've never said to the students, the Prophet is our best role model. Here's how he would have handled this problem. This whole situation with Iraq and Saddam Hussein, if the Prophet was the leader of our ummah, how would he have handled Saddam Hussein? I mean, if you're not making connections to our world, then why are we learning our deen? Then it's archaic and historical fact. It's not every day. So there must be connections to today. Islam is a living way of life. It is evolving. It meets all our needs. The path to Allah is large and long and enough for all of us. But we keep telling the kids it's narrow, and if you don't do this, you're going to hell, you're going to fall off the path, and Allah won't accept you. So you have to allow for the cooperative learning, the individual learning. You have to make connections to our world constantly. And then the last but not least, I said earlier, the best discipline method is an engaging lesson. Students don't want their time wasted. They are here on a beautiful Sunday. Let's give them something worth staying for. So I want you to stop here. And I want you to think of, you don't have to share this with anybody because we try not to talk about the students we like and we don't like in the classrooms. But would you write down the 5 students that were the most challenging for you this year? I believe Azra Auntie did a great job of putting note paper and everything in your notebooks, but all of you have it. I have them. Would you write down the 5 students that you felt really made you walk away going, oh my God, that kid has no future? Or, oh ya Allah, help me, get through the rest of this day. As soon as he walks in the room, you're like, Allah. So write down those 5 names, and then would you stop for a minute and think, what do you know about that child? Can you think of any reason why he may be, or she may be, the way they are? Okay. Take a couple minutes. Sure, either one. Regular school, Sunday school, your own children. Feel free to name one of your own children. Yeah. Okay, raise your hand and please share with us. This has to be collaborative. Can you tell me one reason? Don't name your children, please. We never name the students. But will you tell me one reason you realized, hey, maybe she or he is like that because of this? What's one reason?
That is the wisdom, depend upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, They create like this, according to our faith. I'm not going to, different faith. They are all different,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a unique child
yeah.
with unique challenges. He was created this way.
Yeah.
Does that mean we give up on him? No. We just have to work with it. And it might be a child with special needs.
Yeah.
In a regular classroom, that child would have been supported with a reading specialist or a math program that was to his needs. In your classroom, that you're all they have. What's another reason that you've noticed a child may be the one that's challenging in your classroom?
Home atmosphere, home situation. He is the second brother and older brother. Maybe more boss around him. So he is screaming a lot in my classroom.
Okay.
And he is.
So he's a second child, and the only way he gets attention at home is to negative attention, right? If I get my mom's negative attention, at least I have my mom's attention. Because my older brother or sister are perfect. They get all the attention, I'm compared to them all the time. Right? So something we haven't, so then in our classroom they think the natural way to maybe get attention is negative attention or to scream or act out and that's totally true. What's another reason?
Maybe that he has his peers in the